Hey, what is going on, everybody? We are continuing on with the 1972 Plymouth Fury. If you're new to the channel, we drug this out of the yard after sitting for 10 years, and we put together some pretty good videos trying to get it put back together and on the road again, and on the cheap as well. Can't forget that cheap part. Now, in the last video, we got all underneath it, pressure washed it, got her cleaned up, and what I was noticing is that the drive shaft, the U-joint was going bad on it. So I got the old U-joint out. I already took it up to the parts store and matched her up. We got some replacements, and I'm going to go ahead and replace the one on the rear as well. That way we got both of them. Might as well, since it's already out, right? So this is what a couple $100 will get you nowadays. We got oil. We got everything to do an oil change, filter, spark plug wires. Got spark plugs. We even got a distributor cap rotor. And here's our U-joints here. We already matched them up. We got the right ones here, so we're good to go. Not even worried about that. Now, I've already cleaned up the yoke. It cleaned up really good. There's nothing damaged on it. You can see there, sometimes those holes will get kind of wallered out. They look good. I think this will be fine. Same thing on the drive shaft. But I want to take my wire wheel, and I just want to clean all this up. I can't stand the idea of putting this back together all dirty like this. That's actually cleaning up pretty nice. Let's keep going. Okay, before we go any further, let's go ahead and get this old junky U-joint out now that we got a brand new one. This one actually wasn't giving us any issues. It was that front one that was really bad, but I figure since we're already doing it, might as well do the whole thing, right? The way these come out, for those of you that don't know, is it has a little C-clip in here. That's what actually holds this in. In fact, give me a second and I'll find it and we'll dig it out of there. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, once you pry it up, I like to put my hand over it so it don't go flying off. But the new ones come with the new C-clips anyway, so it's not too much of an issue. But that's what you're digging for. That will come out, and that's on the inside. That's what keeps it from sliding out of the holes, you know. So we'll do the same thing on this side, and they come out pretty easy once the clip is off. Just kind of got to dig for it a little bit when they're old like this. There it went. Okay. Let's try this out. It doesn't take a whole lot to get these out usually. It's the clips that really hold them in. See, there you go. Now that's what we're looking for. Now we can flip it over and do the same thing. Go ahead and knock that on out of there. So the socket's just big enough to slip over that and small enough to go through the hole, and we should be able to knock this other end right on out of there. There you go. You just pull the socket off, pull that on out of there. Now we can clean up this end. So as most of you know, going back in is a little more tedious. You got to be careful because you don't want to lose all those little needle bearings. These things are loaded with little needle bearings, and they'll go falling out, and sometimes they'll fall down into the bottom of the cup here, and then you can't get this to slip back on all the way. And yeah, it's not cool. So we got to be a little more careful on this part. I thought it would make sense to go and hit it up with a little bit of paint, get it cleaned up, looking nice. Why not? We've already got it here, might as well. Well, really? This worked a minute ago. Well, alright, let's see about getting this in here now. Really give myself enough room here, didn't I? it's a good idea. We didn't point this out on the last video, but you do put you a little bit of transmission fluid on the end of this here. It's a good idea. There we go. Like so. Then we can switch our attention back here to the back. Tied me a little rag on the end of here, just in case I bumped it on the concrete. I didn't want to mess up the end of that U-joint where the little cups slide onto, you know. So, and then you can slide that right up in there. It's kind of hard to do one-handed. There we go. Just want to make sure your C-clip's right just inside of there, you know. That's what's going to hold them from flying out, obviously. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I actually line it up with the mark that I made earlier. Otherwise, that was pointless. So I want this to come apart, or go back together exactly the way it came apart. So I made a line there and a line there, and then I'll be damned if I didn't come in and put it in upside down. But that's all right. We got it now. Everything's lined up just the way it came apart. And they say to do stuff like that to avoid vibrations and stuff. Oh, and by the way, don't forget to take a grease gun to those new U-joints when you're done. In an effort to get done underneath this thing, because I'm kind of tired of crawling around underneath it already, I'm going to go ahead and get the front end of it up in the air. We're going to drain the oil out, put some new oil in it, and a new oil filter. Get this oil changed. There we go. Pretty dirty. Curious to see how this oil filter apparatus here works. I've never used one before. Thought this would be a good time to try it out. Why not? This was sent to us by a subscriber. Like I said, never used one before, so let's just see what happens. So as I turn, it makes the tool grip tighter onto that oil filter, and it broke that. That worked too easy, actually. That's awesome. Yeah, that actually worked out pretty good. See how it works? When you twist it, it actually cramps down tight onto it. So pretty cool little deal there. Yeah, I've never used one of these before. Well, it works. Hopefully I can get this off here without making too big of a mess. I know a lot of you guys hate these Fram filters, and I assure you I didn't put that on there. That was already there when I got to it. I want to put a Wix on there, but they were out, so we got the STP. Not to worry, we're going to change the oil again after we run it for a little while. I'm just kind of trying to flush this thing out. Smear a little oil around the rubber O-ring. As always, you want to double check and make sure that you got your O-ring on the old filter and it's not stuck on the engine. I know you guys know all of that, but I gotta say it anyway, because if I don't, I'll get a bunch of comments telling me you forgot to check for the O-ring. So anyway, there we go. Let's spin that on there. We just want to hand tighten it. We don't want to get too crazy with it. We'll never get it back off. Let's get the drain plug back in. Give it a little snug. Again, don't get too crazy. It's time to get some fresh oil in there. She'll be happy for that, I'll tell you that much. No telling when the last time the oil's been changed on this thing. It's the same oil that was in it 10 years ago when I bought it. But luckily she was sitting the whole time, so it's not like we were putting miles on it. Man, we are moving right along. So we got a fresh oil change, filter, U-joints. Time for some spark plugs and wires. I think I'm going to start with this distributor cap. Let's replace it. It just unclips right off here. It doesn't even have the screws or anything like the old Chevys or anything. There we go. That's easy. We'll pop that over here. Get it out of the way. There's the old rotor. They sell this as a set over at the AutoZone. Comes with both the cap and the rotor. So this one here doesn't seem to be in bad shape or anything. That's right. I'll replace it anyway. It's just got a little notch there that this is going to slip down onto. There we go, like that. It's just like a small block Chevy. For those of you that don't know, this is my very first Mopar project. So you guys are watching me do all of this for the first time on a Mopar. I've never done it before. So bear with me here. But one thing I did learn right off the bat is that the 360 is the same as a small block Chevy. The firing order is the same. The cylinders are all numbered the same. You got your 1, 3, 5, 7 over here, and your 2, 4, 6, 8 on that side, and your 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2 firing order. It's all the same as a Chevy, so that ought to be pretty easy. That's pretty much what I'm used to anyways in most Chevys, you know. But I always wanted to try my luck at one of these old Mopars, so here we are, trying to figure this stuff out. And there are definitely some differences, but at least this part's all the same. It's not like a Ford where everything's completely backwards compared to the Chevy, you know. But anyway, I'm going to match these wires up. You guys know the drill. I'm going to get one that's pretty close to the one you're taking off. That's not bad right there. I think I could go with that one. Go ahead and put my cap on. I was having a little bit of trouble getting that cap on there, and then I realized that rotor was not pushed all the way down. So if you're doing this, you want to make sure you get that pushed all the way down on there. Now my clip's not wanting to clip in. Let me go see what that's about. There it went. Alright. Now I think the easiest way to do this, just do these one at a time. Might as well get the spark plug and everything out, right? There it's coming. There we go. Curious what these are going to look like. Well, there's number one. I think we'll just gap these at 35. I think that's good enough. It ought to work. There we go. Snug that up good enough. Where's my new wire? Pop that on there. Run that over to our distributor. And let's see, it was this one here that it goes into. So there we go, there's our first one down. Managed to get the driver's side done. There's all the spark plugs. Other than being, got a little bit of foulage going on, but they're not real bad. There ain't no telling how many miles those things have on them. They look like they've been in there for a long time. We'll get this side done and we can cross it off the list, man. That'd be cool. We'll have a clean carburetor because we've already did that. Or in case you missed it, we've already pulled all that off, cleaned it, rebuilt it and everything. So that ought to be good. And now we'll have a new set of spark plugs, new set of wires, fresh oil change and filter. About to throw a fan belt on it. I don't know, man. Probably hoses. I think hoses will be something we'll need to do for sure. This thing's sitting around way too long to run those old hoses, I can tell you that much. So here we go with the last wire going on. Back here, be number 6. There we go. Okay. I don't think that looks too bad. We'll go with it. Oh yeah, don't forget your coil wire. So now that our tune-up's pretty well taken care of, I think it's time we get back on these seats. This is what I've come up with, y'all. I think we're just going to clean these up. These are the back seats. This will take care of this situation. We'll worry about the front seats at another time. We'll see what we can find. We'll keep looking. But for right now, let's trim all this crap off of here. Let's take a pressure washer to them, a little Purple Power, Simple Green, something. We'll get some cleaner on it and get the stink off of them for one thing. These things are terrible. They're in bad shape, but I think we can recover them just fine. The frame and everything should be okay. So let's go ahead and just do that. Got a little Purple Power here. This was sent to us by a subscriber. I'm gonna mix it up with a little bit of water, probably like 2/3 Purple Power, 1/3 water. Make it kind of stout. So let's get it all cleaned up. I'm just gonna hose it down with this stuff and then hit it with that pressure washer. Let's start. I don't want to get too aggressive with it unless we're gonna blow that seat apart. We put one of these other tips on there, so we'll start off with our 40 degrees, see where that gets us. Let it sit here and drain. I think in the upright position would probably be the best way. Let all that water just drain right out of there. Alright, that takes care of the upper part of the seat. I think I'm going to trim this crap off of this lower part. That's pretty bad. Let's just get that off of there. All of this, I mean, look at this. That's not doing us any good at this point. I'm just going to get rid of it. I just cut it right here, huh? Look at that. Yeah, go through here. Hey, look at there. We're making money, y'all. We're making money. I didn't even know I was getting paid on this project. All right, we'll do the same thing over on that side. Start cleaning. So I took a picture of it on the phone, and it is a 1990. I had to blow that thing up, man. I could not see it. 1990, 32 years old. Just gonna do the same thing over on this side. Just trim all this old loose crap out of here. Going to repeat the whole process like we did on that other piece. This stuff seems to be doing pretty good as far as cleaning it though. Just kind of hosing it down. So I'll let that dry overnight and then we'll come out and I'll show you guys what I come up with for that seat. Okay, so it is the next morning, and hey, before I show you guys this, you know, let me warn you, it's not for everybody, but it's going to get the job done. We got some fur down at the old hobby shop, man. Oh, this stuff is nice, y'all. Look at this. This is what we're going to do for now. This is better than a seat cover, I think, and I got this stuff on sale, so I think it was like 40-50% off. I bought enough to do that whole back seat. Let's see how it goes. I think we'd start with this part of the seat first. And this is just going to be as simple as just wrapping this material right over this and using the old hog rings, you know, to hold it in place. First thing I'm going to do is kind of trim off some of this junk. We don't need none of this, that's for sure. Yeah, let's just get that off. This is practically falling apart. I mean, it's like butter. So we'll just get some of that loose crap off of there. It's just going to be in the way. I'm going to lay my new material right over the top of this. Like I said, we're going to wrap it around tight. It's kind of be like a homemade seat cover. The way these came from the factory is everything's held into place with these what's known as hog rings, and come with a special pair of pliers, and you just put that on there, crimp it, and it'll hold it all in place, make it nice and tight. I do believe this will work, and this will get us by until we can eventually have these seats recovered. I want these to actually be reupholstered back to original condition. I love the way these seats, the design that's in them, and it would be really cool to go back original and maybe just black or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, this is going to do for now. Upholstery is not in the budget, not right now, not at this stage. Okay, so I got these DeWalt little hog ring pliers here, and I've never used these before. This is unsponsored content. I'm just trying to figure this out myself, actually. But I guess you're supposed to be able to put these, that's the hog rings there, and all this does is it just squeezes them into a perfect round little circle, closing it up, and that'll hold everything in place. And look at that, man, it's kind of like a, huh, that's pretty cool. Let's try one. Let's see how this works. Look at that. That's what you're doing. And that worked out pretty sweet. I like that. Okay, man, that gives me hope. Maybe this is going to actually work. Let's get a rough idea how much of this we're going to need. What do y'all think? Come on now. Come on now. I think that looks pretty cool. I like it. All right, so I've got just enough to roll around and catch those bars. Come up here and look, man. We are cutting it so close. I mean, we literally have just enough material to wrap that around. This is what they had on the old rack. I went ahead and bought the whole roll. I think it cost me like, what, 45 bucks, something like that. And it's just enough to do the back seat. They had some wild stuff up there, man. I'm talking like cheetah print and all kinds of weirdness. I didn't want to get weird with it. I thought this right here looked okay and would just go in there and it kind of just blend in. You wouldn't really notice nothing about it. But anyway, obviously you want to make sure you got enough to wrap around, just like we did on that other end. We've got just enough the top and the bottom. I think we're okay, y'all. I think we're going to get it. So I have triple checked, man. I'm for sure that we've got enough to wrap around this end. And then we're going to come down here and make sure we got enough to wrap around this end. More than enough, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut it about, probably about right there. I think I'll do it. Let's make us a mark. There we go. Oh, there's no turning back now. Now, I am definitely not an upholstery guy by any stretch of the imagination. But something like this, I can just wrap. Just going to wrap it, you know. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, we're not sewing or anything. That's where you lose me at, is on that sewing stuff. I'm no good at that stuff. Pull this back down, kind of even it up on both ends. See here, we got plenty hanging off of that side, plenty hanging off of this side. There ain't nothing now to do but hog tie it. So if you look right here, you see that's the old hog rings there holding some of the material still. It's got a big hole there for it to go in, and I'm hoping that I could just leave that alone, not have to cut those out, and just put our hog ring right next to those. We're about to find out. First thing we got to do is get this pulled up here enough. It's got some stretch to it. That'll help us out. I'm going to try to double the material up right here on the end. Gives a little something else to bite into. I'm about to try these pliers out. Let's see how this works. Now the idea, we got to get it right in that hole. That ought to be easier said than done. Look, I'm already fighting with it. All right, I can feel that's the hole right there. I got my thumb in it. Let's see what happens here. Missed it. There's a little bar right here. Can y'all see that? See that? I'm gonna try to hog ring this to that. See what that does. There we go. Well, there's our first one. All right. So I'm going to go through here and just kind of just try to pull this as tight as I can. We'll just get a few of them started. See what that does for us. There's that one. Okay. So far, so good, y'all. Just taking me a little pry bar, and all I'm doing is just kind of prying up on that little bar there. And that makes it where I could kind of wrap my material around it. Like that. And then I could take my hog ring pliers, get them down on there. And there we go. That seems to be working out okay. The only problem I'm having, it doesn't seem like my hog ring pliers are crimping my hog ring as tight as I would like. So I'm just going and kind of crimping it a little bit tighter manually with my pliers here. But yeah, it seems to be working out so far. You can see where we've got this all started pretty good. I'm just going to keep working my way out from the middle, and then we'll, of course, get on the top and just stretch it really tight and do the same thing up there, hog ring it to that top bar, and I think this is working out so far. Every once in a while, you shoot out a dud. Like, what? Where's my hog ring? I squeezed it and everything. There it is. There we go. There. That's what we're needing. Let's flip it over and work on this other side now. So the bar that we're going to be hog ringing to on this bottom end will be right in here. So we only have to go right to there. Should be able to, where'd my hog, there we go. Yeah, right there. I should be able to hog ring it. Yep, that's it. So I just want to pull this tight. Go. There's our hog ring. It went all the way through and caught the bar. Perfect. So what we're wanting, we'll do that all the way along the bottom. We'll kind of pull it tight now that we got the top done. All right, so I swear I probably put like 200 hog rings on this one, just the back of the chair, but man, it is on there and it ain't going nowhere. Let's flip it over, see what we got. Probably have to blow it off with the air compressor, but man, look at that, y'all. Let's give it a quick little cleanup. Woo, looks like chocolate. So before I could put the seatbelt in, I got a little bit more work to do. For one, I got to take these seatbelts out and clean them up real nice. They're pretty nasty. Something else, we're going to need like a little vapor barrier, some kind of a cardboard type of a deal that's going to go in here. Then the seat goes over that, and I don't have one on hand. I'm gonna have to get me something to go in there. So for now, let's pull the seat belts out. I'm gonna get started cleaning that. I do want to go ahead and get the seat in here just to see what it looks like. I mean, it just clicks in, so we'll do that just to get an idea of how it's gonna look inside of here. But for now, let's get these out. This thing is huge. Yeah, oh man. Oh, there went my light. I like it, man. I don't know. It sure looks better than it did, I'll tell you that much for sure. All right, let's start the bottom half. I'm gonna go ahead and cut stuff like this off because I think you'll see it through the material, you know what I mean? It'll be kind of all puckered up around there. It's not what I'm going for. I want it to follow the contour of the foam itself. So I'll go ahead and get rid of anything that I think is going to kind of hold it up. This is how close we are. I mean, this is all that we had on the roll. I mean, it is like, this is the width of the roll right here. It just has barely enough to go over that, and then just barely enough to wrap around over there. So if you ask me, I'm gonna say this was meant to be, because I mean, there it was on sale, 40, 50% off, the exact amount that we needed. I mean, come on, man, coincidence? I don't think so. I'll start right here. Well, I say that, and then nothing came out. Yeah, this is a problem you'll have, is every once in a while, you'll pull the trigger and nothing happens. Moving right along, man. It's a tedious process, but we're gonna get it. I got faith. We're gonna get it. There's really no sense in having the old hog rings in the way. They ain't even holding nothing. I think by getting them out of the way, we would definitely make it a lot easier to get the new ones in. They go right here. You see how this got a little knot, a little cutout, you know? That's right there where we're just gonna wrap this over and just hog ring it right into place. It should be okay. Be prepared to use a ton of these hog rings, man. These things are, what is it, like 1,000 of them in a box? And you think, oh man, that's a ton. But then you start burning through them. It's like, good Lord, I see why they come 1,000 in a box. So when I roll this over, this is how much I need. I think. Was just to cut it right through here. Probably good enough. What are my scissors going to do? Cover my scissors up? That's smart. Okay, about right here. We're just about done, you guys. This is the last end I wish I would have did this before. This is way better than any of the seats we found at the salvage yard. They were all pretty well wore out and nasty and stained up and everything else. So I can't help but think this is a way better deal, man. Even if it's just temporary, it's still better. But like I said, I do want to have the original seats recovered. That's the ultimate goal. But we're just not doing it right now because it ain't in the budget. I gotta buy tires and exhausts, and we still gotta do some suspension work. Yeah, we got plenty to do. I can't afford to have the upholstery redone right now. That's why I've been doing it all myself. Super cheap, man. We ain't hardly got nothing into it so far. And it's taking shape, man. It's actually looking pretty good. Our package tray. You guys remember the dash project? That turned out all right. That was a big one there. So anyway, this is what working on a budget is all about, man. We can't just run out and buy a bunch of brand new interior. Not right now. Maybe in the future, but not right now. All right, let's see what this is gonna look like. That's pretty much it. That's as far as I'm gonna go with it. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna bolt anything in or anything yet, but there it is. So there you have it. I know some of you guys are gonna hate it. Whatever, man. This is what we're going with for now. It has a kind of a reddish tint to it on camera, but it's not. It's brown. It's like a chocolate brown, almost black. In fact, when the light's not on it, it looks black. So that's what we're gonna go with for now. As far as the front seats go, that's still anybody's guess. You know, I'm thinking about seeing if I could find a good seat cover for the original seat and just putting it back in. If I could find something good enough, I'll go with it. They have a weird shape to them, and I'm not very hopeful of finding anything worth the crap. And I don't think I could do this to the front seats and have them turn out right. There's just no way. The front seats are a little more complex, you know what I mean? They would require some stitching, and that's just not me. You got to know your limitations, and that is definitely mine. But stuff like that, listen, man, hacking up some back seats, I'm your guy. You know, say what you want. I think this is better than getting some old salvage yard seats and trying to dye them and all that kind of stuff like we were talking about. At least this just goes right in. No modifications necessary. It literally just goes right in the hole because that's where it came from. It would be really nice to be able to do that on the front seats as well. We'll look at it. We'll figure it out. But for now, this is what we're going with on the back. I'm proud of it, man. That's just a homemade seat cover is all it is. And it actually fits really well, unlike most seat covers that you buy. And we don't hardly have nothing into it. In fact, I think the hog rings cost more than anything. Shoot, yeah, man. These things with 1,000 hog ring clips, this little box here, $40. So anyway, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is what we do here, man. We just figure out ways to do things nice and cheap and still end up with something decent that's not totally hackish garbage. You know, this right here, this is going to be just fine. And man, I can hardly wait to get Mrs. Beard up in the back of here at the old drive-in, you know what I mean? In fact, I wouldn't mind laying in here and having myself a little nap. This is pretty damn comfortable, if I do say so myself. So anyway, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. It helps the channel grow, and I do appreciate all of you guys watching. The Fury project is turning out to be a blast. I really do enjoy this whole YouTube thing, and you guys make it all possible, and I do appreciate it. So anyway, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out my Facebook, my Instagram, Weird Beard. That's all you got to do. Type it in. You'll see this little thing, and you'll know you're in the right place. So anyway, I'm going to get on out of here. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.